All right, so sincerest apologies about the hiccup, but looks like we're about good to go. Thank you to Cassarasin for the 14-month resub. A great way to kick off this final best of 5. But as stated, this is the last best of 5 today, as Rogue is out of the group, and one of these two will advance with him, while the other will sadly fall and die. Spawning here in the bottom left side of Dusk Towers, we have the red Terran player. It is none other than GuMiho.
The top right, Oz, the blue Terran, is Jinez Cure.
And shouts to Rabathari as well. Interesting to note that GuMiho puts his depot back here. The days of greedy Terran have, I felt, almost fallen off because you don't need to do this anymore with the economy being what it is. But the thing I find most scary about the first depot being back here means no potential of a wall off, which means Hellions and things can be very problematic.
Yeah, that is something that was very evident part of the Swarm for a very long time. Just instant GGs as Hellions run up the ramp. Then everyone seemed to learn to put wall off, and then, I don't know, we're back to square one. But of course, it's only if Cure gets Hellions. It's Dusk Towers. They might not be so eager to throw units at each other. They may be really eager to go for bases. GuMiho seems to be, with his command center coming down, but Cure is not. That supply depot, well, it could have been a trick. It could have just been, right before he throws on his command center. But more likely, GuMiho's going to read that as, oh yeah, you have 2 gases in a factory, don't you?
Sorry, I had to go around to the other room because apparently everyone lost track of bets and had to go manually award it to make sure nobody messed it up. Okay, so, of course, big shout out to TING for sponsoring the event. Can't forget about that, guys. While this is kicking off, make sure to go to bttv.ting.com, claim your $25 in credits, and, of course, lets them know you came from BaseTradeTV and that their money has been well spent on saving esports.
Yay, esports.
Yeah. Bacon Lover 240 is asking, chat, is there somewhere you can actually bet on the outcome of these matches? Now, I'm assuming you're asking in terms of real money. There are betting sites out there. I have no idea if any of them take any of the stuff we cast, so I can't direct you anywhere. I will say, though, that the only thing we really super condone is Partoof bets, however, so if you decide to actually put money on the line on one of said sites, please do not discuss it in chat, because that's not stuff we really support.
Yeah, and don't blame us either. I lost $10,000 in your stupid tournament.
Now, if you,
well,
now you can blame some of your people who lose Partoofs, though, because sometimes
No,
yeah, absolutely. If you kill somebody in a bank heist and they lose all their Partoofs,
okay, you can blame me partially for that, but you can't blame me for losing a bet, which is what we were talking about.
I bet that you wouldn't kill me in a bank heist. Now what are you gonna do?
You know what? I kill people that disrespect me.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Well, we got the medevac heading out with that Marine and what am I combination. GuMiho, if he gets on top of this right away, I don't think it'll be too bad. He's got a decent amount of Marines. You pull an SCV or 2, you're good to go. But that tank's still a whiles out. Oh, nice block on the Hellion, by the way. Nicely done.
Yeah. But it's all a ruse? Nope. GuMiho's on top of that. GuMiho got it. Come on. Nice,
I love describing that as a ruse, by the way. That's like the 1900 way of saying it's a prank. 'Tis but a ruse, bro.
Brethren. That Widowmine would love to get the Viking. It's
I don't know
down
why.
to the Marines, though. Why is it going back?
He didn't need to give away that Viking. I don't know why he did that.
He might have had everything in one hotkey. That's the only way I can explain it. There's no other reason to do that with the Viking. Oh well. So he would have liked the Viking, especially to deal with the Banshee that Cure is following up with. It's coming across the middle of the map too. And now he has no anti-air.
Well, there's going to be a Cyclone at least, though, so this probably won't get too out of control. In fact, he's throwing a turret down to be the full block of this wall.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, it's cool, I guess, in some respects. Turret's going to be done over here as well, and of course, it's not about the range or the reach of the turret as much as it is just the detection, so once again, this Cyclone will be really nice.
Yeah, this is a little awkward, though. He sees that there's no army. And he's like, okay, where is it? So he knows that the push is coming across the map, but it's Sus Towers. He'll have his ramp to defend on. He has a second Banshee that he could use to attack or defend. What?
I was gonna say this actually there's like nothing here for Cure. This is dangerous. That third CC eats up everything that he had to defend with. So if GuMiho gets in here now, the double Vikings would stop this because they take away the medevac advantage, I suppose.
It's really not a big army for either of them. So the Banshee, had it just defended, would have been
This would
have been no problem. But it is a little bit of a problem without it.
It essentially like elevates, I guess, the units over. Like that's kind of cool. Tank's gonna set up. It's a little bit outside of range, but unfortunately,
oh no,
he's gonna pick it off. That's nice. Medevac, if it hides back, he needs the high ground vision from this quite badly, actually.
Oh, GuMiho. It's getting quite a lead off of this. Getting that one tank was huge. Getting the SCV splash is bigger.
12 more go down. 15. It's not done yet.
Didn't do anything.
Gets in the dead zone of that tank.
Oh, I killed so slow.
Okay, so I mean, this is the end of the attack, but that's 16 workers, 24 to 42. It's a mirror image of one another, and we weren't kidding, guys. Like this whole bracket curse thing is a real big deal.
Now, of course, Cure has a third CC. That
Oh my god, is this tank gonna kill the other tank on its way out? No, okay. Like a millisecond, it doesn't.
That he can start producing three SCVs at a time. GuMiho's is just finishing up, so he should be able to continue this lead. This should just be GuMiho. Nicely done. Way to go. But he is behind on that tech. He does not have stim or combat shields. So it's going to be a while longer before he can really push in and actually take the game. Get Cure to GG.
Now, again, reminding everybody that when these two fought the first time, it was very one-sided. Like, Cure kind of stomped. I felt bad for GuMiho. I already like the way that this is a better fight for GuMiho. It's far from over, and it's so easy to throw positions in StarCraft 2, especially when you're ahead. But it's gonna be a hard fight for Cure. I mean, this tank drop move that he's trying to pull off again. It was kind of cool the first time we saw it, but I can't imagine it's gonna work twice.
Well,
I mean, 'cause last time it was 4. This
yeah.
is 2. It's kind of almost measly in comparison as they fly over the Cyclone.
Oh god, no. Oh, Cure, please
It's
react.
fast enough to stay in the dead zone of that tank. That was actually really clever. Doesn't quite kill it, but that medevac is so low. Meanwhile, it looks like we got that Banshee going ham on the other side of the map. No one expects that late game Banshee, so 13, 14 more SCVs die, down to 30 workers. And, snipes off the medevac. Really nicely done.
So nice from GuMiho. This sim timing's not even going to matter. You know, it's bad that it's a full sim timing behind, but Cure doesn't have enough units to actually utilize it. In fact, GuMiho, being up almost 20 army supply, could maybe push out himself if he had medevacs, which are on the way now. The extra damage on by the Banshee, it was without cloak, too. You just don't expect it to come in that late.
Yeah.
And Cure's in a terrible position.
Now, the nice thing is, and we've been over this so many times, right? Like, in TvT, tanks are the ultimate equalizer. They can certainly bring you back from terrible spots, and while GuMiho does push, it's very easy to throw away an army lead like this, and I feel like with Stim, with +1, like, everything here is going his way, and he should not lose this game. But we've seen so many bad decisions cost people games, so I don't know where I sit on this. Like, this attack, what I do like out of Cure is he does have the air control. So the Vikings are going to make sure that those medevacs will not be healing, and they're especially not going to be hopping those tanks around. But if GuMiho were to just unsiege the tanks and push with 4 tanks and this many Marines, I think he would break this position. He's going to realize what's going on, tries to capture a couple of the Vikings with that stim forward. A little bit risky. That one Viking on the right, doesn't quite get it.
Yeah, but you know what? He does get the abuse position on Dusk Towers. In fact, not even bothered with the tanks on the low ground, puts them on the high ground, actually. I don't know about that. Some of the Marines can't really help.
Take that back. They get a quad kill. All the Vikings disappear. Now GuMiho chops up to the high ground. Maybe Cure just isn't used to playing this late at night. GG.
It's the curse.
It's the curse.
Turn the slab.
Congratulations to GuMiho. Takes map number 1. Now, this is far from over. We're making jokes about this curse, guys, but, like, to an extent, that did not look like a good game out of Cure. Like, even before things got out of hand on his side of the map, his attack wasn't that great. Like, I don't know. What's the second map? Praeon Terraces?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you said, Cure might not be used to playing this late. It's GuMiho that has been in so many Alima leagues that have gone over 12 o'clock a couple of times, and it's GuMiho that's always been participating in foreign tournaments. So It is like it's like 2:30 in the morning. That's quite late.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds silly, but GuMiho, master of late game everything, right? Whether it's real life late game or like in game late game, like this guy, he's got an edge in that one in small regard. I think you gotta love 69 for the 14-month resub. Gotta love 69. All right, Prion Terraces. We'll see you guys here in just a moment for game number 2. All right, folks, game number 2 here for the TING Open. Game in the top left, it's going to be, I don't know why I said game. In the top left, it's going to be the red Terran player GuMiho up 1-0.
In the bottom right, as the blue Terran, he's Jenner's Cure.
I just attribute it to not getting enough sleep. It's finally starting to hit me here in the last series of the day, but that's all good because we got 2 great Terrans in front of us, and I just lucky enough happen to love TvT. If this was a ZVZ, I'd be just not contributing to this at all. Which, by the way, is going to be happening tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to have Firecake, Raynor, Solo, and Penguin coming back, and they'll be doing the wild card group number 1. But while that group might not be the most enticing, and in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that was our lower viewership day of all things, the wildcard group number 2 is really sexy. That's going to have a Laser, Snoot, Bunny, and Naniwa. So, if you guys, of course, don't know when any of these things are happening, make sure to go to our website, BaseTradeTV, and check out the calendar so you can see when all these matches are scheduled. Because the thing about I guess if you go to Team Liquid, it can be a little confusing because it's got everybody's events there. BaseTrade.tv/calendar is specifically only our things, and you'll see lots of stuff posted.
Pretty easy tool. So we do have a T-Rex opener from GuMiho here, compared to Cure's just, single racks command center. Cure did scout this, so at least mentally he's prepared, but actually holding against it perfectly can still be a little difficult. It's not proxied. If it was, this might be game over. It's not 3 racks, but it is something that can get you a lead if they go for a command center. Play cards right.
So it's complicated, right? Because for GuMiho, it's not even close to an auto win, but it is something that can snowball, especially if Cure reacts poorly. Doesn't get the first hit on the Reaper, so he's going to run away. If he jumps up to the high ground elsewhere, might work out for him. What the hell died? How did it die after the Reaper left? What? Oh, it must have been like one on the other side of the map.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. This Reaper's got the kill. I was like, what the fuck was that? Let's keep in mind, Hellions, once upon a time where the auto response to Reapers. Oh, this is not going to go well. Not if he jumps into the Marines. Nice
I like that preemptive grenade.
Yeah, that was pretty cute, but it's just going to turn around on that Reaper, and actually losing that Reaper takes away a lot of power for what could be the defense. 4 Marines going to just be eating grenades. No matter how well you want to control them, they are just simply too slow to outrun the grenade a lot of the time.
Those 2 Reapers go on the ramp, lazy bones. Yeah, that was 4 Reapers, and they can't take on this very small army. They can take on the hell without the Marines, and
This is actually borderline snowballing to good game styles, guys. Like this, in TvT, this is a very fragile situation. GuMiho, I really would have loved to have seen pursue the issue up the ramp and finish off the army before it could snowball. Goes for a couple of SCV kills. But the thing is, 2 Hellions might not deal with this still. And it's not about the grenades anymore. It's the fact that Reapers just have great auto attack damage in comparison. So we got more Reapers coming. GuMiho perhaps wishing he had dedicated more to this sooner. Pumping up 3 at a time now.
Oh, that's so silly. You'd only do this if things are going so well, and you don't expect them to go well after the first, minute or so that you've been attacking.
He's just
but actually continuing to Reapers is so funny. Like, they're going to beat Hellions.
He's just rotating the cooldown on the ramp. Unfortunately, didn't get that shot the way he wanted it to. Does start lining up for the Hellions, but takes them out. As this falls, the Marines are going to die to the Hellion of his own. And, these Reapers, they might barely be alive, but they are going to heal. Command Center is burning as we speak. And,
oh my goodness gracious. Well, that's not how it's supposed to go.
No, but this is how for GuMiho. Well, you know what? It is how it's supposed to go, because the curse is real!
The curse.
We need to have, like, some lightning sound effects queued up, and every time we say the curse, just, like in the background. But
I'd be down.
This was really good for GuMiho. What's third map? Lurlak?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see if he can wrap this up and maybe lock this down. I would be so sad if neither of our Alima League friends got through the group today, but with Rogue taking that first place spot, I think a lot of us assumed it would be Cure to join him. But at this rate, I don't know. Now maybe Cure's a showman, right? And maybe he's setting up a loss so that his eventual comeback looks more epic. I don't know. Mr. Arthur Simon saying with an organ, lightning, and an organ in the back. Like, we don't want to make it. We don't make it too creepy, man. Like...
It's not creepy. It's just, it's scary. It's different.
It's got to like emphasis. Spooky, I think is the better word. I think.
Sure.
To spoopy-five me. But okay, so as we get into this game, this could purposely meaning an ace curse emote. Man, I wish. I don't even know how you would do that. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned in to the Ting Open. It's the finals of the group. It's one last best of 5. And this is a rematch of one of the first games we cast today. Spawning in the bottom right side of the map, he is on his last life, playing for Jin Air. It's the Blue Terran Cure.
In the bottom left, as the red Terran, he's GuMiho. And we know what... Look, okay, creepy and scary have two different, connotations, alright? Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah?
I thought you were going further. Can I read the donation? Or you
can read the donation. John Cena just scared me out of my explanation.
Oh, well, I think this donation sucks! Comes in from JTDC, donates $4, and he says, curse? Well, yeah. Rifkin's involved, so curses make sense. Maybe players should keep garlic handy when Rift casts.
Vampires don't do curses.
Well, I mean, you actually don't know that, though.
I mean, I don't read a lot of
Have you ever met
mythology.
a real vampire? No. So as far as you know...
Do you know?
I'm just saying, you can't rule out that they can't, is my point.
I don't know about that. But seriously, like, scary and creepy, okay? Like, X-Files is creepy, right? Like, I'll watch an X-Files episode, I'll be like, that is going to haunt me at night. But then I'll play, like, that game you make me play, and that just, like, straight up scary. Like, actually just like, nope, no thank you. And running away from the chair. Like,
Zombie Girl
that's scary.
cannot play any horror games, guys. Like,
I can play Damned okay.
Damned? Yeah, it's like so on that. It's so busy being buggy that you can't be scared.
No, then a face goes on your screen. That's scary.
People are accusing me of being pretty knowledgeable about this. Someone was asking about when the new emotes are going to be revealed, when they're finished. I put the commission in yesterday. I don't know how long it'll take. Hopefully not too long. But again, the artist we're working with is very talented and has a lot of people using her emotes on Twitch. So I'm very excited. I love Haruna to death, and like 99% of the time we use Haruna for emotes. But I want to spoil ourselves with this one. Try something new. Oh. But okay. So for GuMiho... I'm actually surprised we didn't see something a little bit more cheesy. He is going for a one-base build, and that's one thing. But I thought he might just try and lock down the series. Say, like, look, if 2 Reapers worked as good as they did that last game, then I've got this to be a shoo-in.
Yeah.
But do you think this? I think this is just be elevator play, right?
I think so.
He's got the second gas. Maybe
he might.
The tech lab should have been built, right?
Liberator. There you go. We've been seeing this in Lairlac Crest especially, I guess because you always have guaranteed access to the natural, because it's a wide ramp, they're not going to wall it off, so you can always at least scare them with the ground army, and then the hope is that you just distract them while going in the back of the Liberator. But you can also use the Liberator to attack the ramp if you find that's the best course of action.
So the reason that this position is going to suck for Cure is that there's a lot of ways he's going to be able to abuse the Liberator range. And well, yeah, you've got a lot of Marines to potentially lose. You're not going to be able to get them under that Liberator too easily. Reaper does not see the Hellions, I guess? Uh-oh. The Cyclone's actually going to be a really nice addition.
Yeah, that'll be very helpful.
I didn't want him to see the Liberator.
Yeah, it looks like the Liberator's not going to the back of the base anyways, though, so it's not really a surprise Liberator. It is going to be about attacking up that ramp. This is a little annoying on the Chase the Reaper with this Reaper, but Guma's also coming out with a Cyclone himself. Cure just lifts, spreads SCD's back. Definitely the better move.
This is down here. Now, of course, the Cyclone is blocking onto a Hellion, not that big of a deal. Loses one of the Hellings right off the bat, kind of sucks. No anti-air to deal with a Viking, and one-on-one, a Viking does beat a Liberator, but there's a Marine to contribute.
He's helping! I'm helping!
Yeah, this is actually not working for GuMiho. I mean, he did lift off the command center and stop the advantage, I guess, with his own command center just finishing up. He's not too far behind. So, as far as this is concerned, like, this did kind of equalize the game. This is like in huge air quotes. But yeah. the Banshee next is kind of cool. We'll see if that gets damage done or not.
I think that GuMiho's doing fine with that lift off. Of course, as soon as it went back down, Cure's income spiked. Tries to get on top of the Cyclone, especially to help out his Banshee, and the Cyclone tries to take out this tank. Woo!
Of course, he wants it.
He wants it. He
yeah,
gets
but
it.
he's still going to lose it to the Marines. No! Wow! Oh my god, 2 health barely gets out of there. Go back home.
That is so good. He wanted to get that Cyclone for his Banshee, but the Viking is still around, of course, taking away that Liberator.
Yeah, good denial of the mineral lines, but you know what's funny? The engineering bay put in such a weird spot, yet no turrets.
Well,
he didn't put all the SUVs back to mine either. There we go. Fixes it.
Okay. It could be a problem. The Viking, well, it would have been in position to see the Banshee had gone in the typical path, but realizing that brings it to the natural where he's hoping Cure won't expect it.
Ooh. Now, he is saving a little bit of energy here. I'm not sure if this is intentional or not. If he mules, this will be a problem. If he doesn't, he'll at least have detection to stop this. And I think he's playing a little bit on the safe side, which is why he waited to use the energy on that command center. So this the scan's going to take out the Banshee pretty quickly. Or not, actually, he'll fly away from it.
Yeah. The Cyclone is there. Would have been dead for sure.
Okay, the turret's going to try and finish up. Now, there is no more scan energy, so he can just sit over top of this for a little bit of time, but he doesn't know that, so he's trying to play it on the, really, like, the edge of things, so the turret gets to complete. It just sat there.
The Banshee goes to the main.
Oh, yeah, a lot of focus on out here. Scan goes down over here. Is turret in the main? There's a turret in the main, so this might not be too bad. Would have loved him to see him pick off that tank, actually. He still might be able to wrap around and get it. Gonna pick off some of the SUVs going for production. Stall out the barracks.
Tries to. There we go.
Stupid priority targeting.
Yeah. There's another scan ready right now, actually, at that natural command center. But these Banshees, I think, have done work. 2 Banshees in Cloak for
7 SCVs.
9. Okay, 7 SCVs in total. And a couple of Marines, too. Not the greatest.
Well, if GuMiho was left defenseless because of this, I would not like that move.
Okay.
But you're right. Like, he's got a pretty good setup at home. So
he did this last time, remember? On Lerlac? With, like, this stupidly quick second factory, and he's still going bio?
Oh, yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. I do like having the Raven, though, actually quite a bit. Auto turret's going to be very helpful when it comes to dealing with medevacs. Give me a Cyclone in the middle of the map for no reason, though. Jeez, Cyclone explodes big when it dies. Like a little crater. At any rate, the Raven going to be pretty influential because not only will it do a ton of damage to a tank if you throw it down on top of it, it'll soak the priority targeting, sure, all that goodness. It also just does a ton of stupid damage.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's odd. Liberator kills things so slowly, a single target. But is just only part of Cure's army, as the rest goes to his third base.
You can pull the SCVs away, though. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not too big of a deal.
He's really dedicated to trying to kill this, man.
I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get it. And he's guaranteed to get it if there's any Marines helping it, so it wasn't a bad idea. The stim on top of the tanks was quite clever. He took out the medevac that was holding the other tank, so this is more than GuMiho, I think, wanted to have to do to deal with this.
Very awkward.
There's a couple SCVs, but he's on a third command center and Cure isn't.
Yeah, the Mule is going to make up the difference of this, no problem. So, is this enough, though, for Cure? Because Cure's coming with a +1 weapon upgrade, right? Like, he's got a really good Marine count, but tanks, well-positioned, should be able to take out most of these. If this was double the Marines, I'd actually feel really bad, but going for about 2 tanks... Oh, awkward drop is awkward. He just lists the third and says this isn't worth it, and that's actually a pretty smart move. Now, unfortunately, this does mean his main base is in danger of getting sieged up. A couple turrets going to try and come down a bit late. Auto turrets, please save the day. There we go. Auto turrets do 16 damage a shot every 0.5 seconds. Look how much that melts everything. Now, he loses SCVs through this, and it sucks. But again, with the third CC, not too bad off. Now, that was kind of the one-hit wonder of the Raven. As he keeps it alive, it's just basically detection and a bit of bait. But medevac's coming through this time. Still no turrets down. Sorry, a single turret down.
GuMiho he knows that all has to do is hold.
Oh, no. Oh,
the Raven.
Actually, losing the Raven's fine compared to losing the Liberator and the Vikings, but...
Loses everything? He's careful.
Yo, you're saying he did this on Lirlac, and also a reminder that he flopped his control a lot on Lirlac last time we cast. In fact, GuMiho, in that first best of 5, did not look good at all in any of his control.
So it's really not the best to have to use both scans to scout both bases, but GuMiho did want to realize the situation here, and now he knows for sure that all I need to do is hold. He's going to have upgrades to match Cures finally. He doesn't have combat shields, and he may have forgotten about that. That's
actually pretty big. Yeah, Cure's going to finish up in just a second. We've talked about this so many times. Combat shields can sometimes be the single biggest upgrade in any TvT. Like 2-2 versus 0-0, no, you want combat shields every single time. Drop of the main is going to get cleaned up. It's actually not that much here. This was supposed to be a distraction, but wasn't able to push with this. So that did not sync up well enough for Cure. He does float his main over to his third.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Cure might not realize that combat shields isn't on those Marines. But even if he does say, like, oh, they don't have combat shields, you never know. Like, it could be finishing as you stim in. Just like, you know, Baneling speed might be finishing as you stim in to kill the slow Banelings. It's very hard to bank everything on that, even if you do notice. And of course, it'd still be going up a ramp against a lot of tanks, regardless of those combat shields. But Cure, or GuMiho, he might have forgotten it for a while, but at least he remembers it now. Maybe he thinks it's like, oh, my reins look weird.
Bit of panic, though, because he's still going to have about a minute before he has it. Thank you to JTDC. He donates another $4. He says, Zombie Grab, you should play Darkest Dungeon. Horror, but not jump scare. I promise, and since I'm not a vampire, you can trust me.
I think I've seen that played. Maybe.
Everyone just titles their string Dankest Dungeon. And then everyone dies, and Olivia names the guy Rifkin, and he ends up being useless.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I remember watching Olivia play it.
She's a jerk. Okay. Scans again. Combat shields. This was a really big upgrade to bridge the gap in. He's going to have that here in just a moment. But in the meantime, manages to get out 3 medevacs. Good thing he brought 3, though, because that's a lot of turrets. However, not enough to stop him. He unloads a couple of units at that base. Really important to drive this off. He scouts in the main that's not a third base. That is, in fact, his main CC. So Marine's going to get on top of production, starts picking off reactors. This brings Cure back home.
Yeah, entirely. So that's definitely what he wanted. The Marines on the third base are actually taking out a bunch of structures, actually opening the retreat path for the medevacs, believe it or not.
Yeah, the last turret goes down. He gets out a lot of these units alive, and he shuts down so much mining through this. I mean, look at that spike. This isn't about the money GuMiho's getting. This is about the money Cure is losing while this goes on. So let's not forget, he doesn't even have full saturation of mineral patches here. He's basically on 1 and like kind of a half base mining.
Mm-hmm. His army is still good enough to take a fight. GuMiho could really, really mess up his control. We've seen it happen quite a few times. They're going to have even upgrades, although GuMiho's going to have that tank upgrade, but it's more like who's going to have the better tank drops, tank positioning. Once again, GuMiho's going to be on the defensive. Which is, okay. It's still okay, sure, but
it is 12 tanks to 6. I mean,
yeah,
GuMiho could take a pretty nasty fight, but he's got twice the tanks of his opponent. Double the Marines is going to be the favor of Cure, and that's the best thing he has going for him. But GuMiho,
oh boy, he just took away all of his defenses that could actually move around. So
this is kind of cool though. The Liberator was set up really nice. Takes out that first tank immediately. Now sims in with the Marines, and of course his own tank does go down. This ends up being a much better start to the defense. Doom Drop on the other side of the map is going to have something to say and say, Cure. If it is a base trade, I like GuMiho's position a lot more.
Cure does have the bigger army. There's a big chunk of his army in the middle of the map doing I don't even know what. A lot of his tanks are very low, so they'll be splashed. Or actually be killed by like 1 tank shot if they're clumped together. Production was camped for Cure, but not for GuMiho, and that's usually what decides who wins a base trade in TvT.
Yeah, GuMiho's actually got a couple of tanks sieged up back at home pretty well. So, I mean, the funny thing is Cure's still mining. I actually thought GuMiho would lose like everything for this, but as the production begins to fall, if Cure can hold on to this, it's going to be sore to actually fight this game out, right? Tanks in a good position. They will take out a good chunk of the Marines, but he could save these. Yeah, I'd say save these and get the hell out of Dodge.
He's trying to micro them instead. Okay, let's save 1.
Just drop it out here. Take out those SCVs.
There's Marines. Yeah. At least get the medevacs out. Something, you know?
Okay, but while this goes on the other side of the map, while GuMiho did have to lift the command center, he didn't lose it. And all of Cure's units here are very deadly low. He's actually just got to get out of here. GuMiho says, I don't have to deal with this. I'm instead just going to keep pushing, and I don't think that's a terrible option either. His income advantage of what he had for so long disappeared now. Kyr's actually the one with money, ironically enough.
GuMiho had a chance to catch Kyr's army when it was still half and half.
Drop the mules. Drop the mules.
Do it.
Scans instead.
But that opportunity has passed. Kyr does recollect his army and actually be backstabbing GuMiho here, and I don't think GuMiho realizes that he could bring his medevacs back to pick up his tanks.
Even then, he's killing all of Kyr's SCVs at this base, by the way. So Kyr's going to be down quite a few words. In fact, losing to CC straight up. GuMiho has... Oh, get mining going, man.
He has 2 factory production, which might just save his butt here, because he lost all of his tanks, and actually a lot of his medevacs too. And tanks are what you want when you know that your opponent basically has to all in. You just killed their second command center. They're barely mining anymore. You're going to want tanks defending your ramp, and that's going to be the ideal defense situation.
Oh, I don't know why he's positioned like this. This is really awkward.
But it's still going to go better for GuMiho.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty close.
Even if this breaks, there's still reinforcements that are going to be coming out of GuMiho. Kyr lost everything on the other side of the map. He lifts his natural base over here. He takes a new command center trying to build this base up. I mean, I applaud his best efforts here, but there's no production. He lost so many barracks. He lost his factory. I guess he's got one more that he built the second one here in the natural, but for GuMiho's sake, it's 3 CCs. He dropped that mule hammer, so he's finally got money coming in once again, and it's kind of just barely one base mining for Kyr right now. Yeah. GuMiho's not in a much better situation, but he's got better production, and that's what's going to really matter. But, he's out of position for this fight, so the Marines out in the middle of nowhere. Ooh, tank drops. Run, just save him. Just save him.
Go to the high grounds. This is actually a fairly good position for GuMiho. Now, losing all of your STVs, that's not so good.
He's going to kill the last couple tanks. Nope. Pushes this back, catches some medevacs. Only has 7 SCVs died there, though.
Yeah, that's not so bad. He also killed the 2 medevacs that both went up to try and kill his 2 tanks. He didn't lose his 2 tanks, certainly, but... Yeah. He has evened up that army supply. GuMiho was down about 10, and so much of that is in Kyr's medevacs. He has 12 medevacs, and 3 tanks and 8 marines. That's it.
This is surprisingly equalized. I mean, at a point... GuMiho's still chasing this back, and this is really dangerous. Kyr's army supply, though, is so deceptive because it is so heavily in medevacs and not in units that can actually fight. Okay, you might have a medevac for every single marine, but if your opponent's got 4 times the marines, then who the hell cares? And GuMiho's got about 28 marines to the 10 that Kyr has. Now, this base is going to get defended really well because it is a very important base to defend, but GuMiho may also just say, screw it, I'll go finish off what little production you have, go check out to see if there's a third there. Tank's going to just fly on over and siege up.
Yeah, and take care of what low production Kyr has.
Yeah.
I guess maybe he just assumes there's not a third base over there. Otherwise, he could go ahead and lift that off.
Yeah, sending even just 1 marine there to check. I don't know. Tank's not involved with the fight for either player. GuMiho's army grows more and more as each passing second goes on. And while this was a 3-0 for Kyr the first time, GuMiho turns it around. GG. Ladies and gentlemen, GuMiho, the Gumi God, survives the group.
Talk about a curse.
I know, this curse thing is so scary. What the fuck? We still haven't seen anyone break this curse in such a long time, so I don't know what to say, but other than congratulations to GuMiho. Really sad to see Kyr go down. We've definitely expressed our love for him, and I hope we get to see him in more tournaments in the future. But congratulations to GuMiho as he does survive the Korean group. So it's going to be GuMiho and Rogue moving forward. Now, to let you guys know, there is going to be another group stage after this. It's going to be 4 groups instead of 8, and everyone's going to be sort of mishmashed together. So this was done segmented by region and time zones because, let's be honest, it was hard enough to juggle 32 different players. I'm not going to be able to do that if 4 people in the group are all in a different time zone. So as we get closer to 8 players, it's going to be really interesting to see who ends up in what group, especially with some of these very scary Koreans making it through. But congratulations to GuMiho once again. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to do a quick last shout out towards the sponsors before we take off. Of course, I see Jesse in chat. He'll probably be saying his goodbyes as well. So say goodbye to him, guys, because Ting Jesse is, of course, the man to make all of this happen and the only guy I've ever met that has been that excited about StarCraft 2. He was very fun and very passionate to talk to when we were discussing setting up tournament stuff. So again, Ting US mobile phone service. Again, U.S. only, so sorry everyone else. But they are looking to help you save some money. They do some really cool stuff, especially involving the fact that they don't have plans. They go by rates, so you pay for what you use. If you use less, you pay less. You know how it goes. We've said this so many times at this point. But the big deal is, if you're in the United States and willing to try it, make sure to go to bttv.com. bttv.ting.com and claim your $25 in credit. You can pretty much try a month for free, close to free at least, with our promo code. And of course, the really cool thing about this is, if we can get 40 people trying Ting throughout the entire course of this tournament from start to finish at the March, I think 18th, I don't remember when our finals is, but before it's all over, then they'll give us another tournament down the line, which means more Ting, more action, more StarCraft, more base trade, right? There's no downside. So make sure to check them out, guys. But Zombie Grub, I guess before we take off, do you have any final words, any goodbyes?
Are we going to talk about our own sponsors? Or?
We should. Thank you. You should do that,
yeah,
actually. Cause
maybe I should. Go to g2a.com and use code BASE for 3% off. And to make sure that it's extra special for us, make sure that is the first code you ever used for G2A. So that might include making a new account. Yord with $20 off should be 5%, but I guess they still haven't taken down that coupon. So we're so close to actually reaching our goal for the $1,000 Yord tournaments. I'll be throwing at a later time should we reach it, which I think we are. Great job, guys.
Definitely a March, for sure.
If you're looking for nice watches, they are super, super nice watches. Cheers for gaming. Use code BaseTradeTV and get $20 off free shipping to Canada and the United States. And last but not least, of course, Corsair. Down below on the links, you can see all of their peripherals. Really nice stuff. We love our stuff. And, of course, we are returning with Corsair Gaming Cups Thursday, 1 p.m. EST.
Yeah, you're going to see some cool stuff with Fear Dragon in the near future, which is awesome. As third member of Base Trade and all that good stuff. But tomorrow, of course, we're going to be back with the wild card #1 group, all Zerg. So some of you are going to love that. A lot of us are going to hate it, myself included. But last but not least, guys, go to our website, BaseTrade.tv, and most specifically, BaseTrade.tv/calendar, so that you can see all the upcoming events. There's no ads on the website. It's strictly just a tool for you guys to connect better with us. Thank you all for joining us on the stream today. We're going to end the broadcast with some words from our sponsors, specifically Ting, and we'll see you guys later. So take care. Bye-bye.